be one of the greatest players to ever put on a Celtic uniform, and we can get some championships back here in Boston. Hopefully, I can be one of those great players that they talk about.
With the 10th pick in the 1998 NBA draft, the Boston Celtics select Paul Pierce from the University of Kansas.
Oh, Paul Pierce muscles it through and one. Great move by Pierce, flies inside for two.
Paul was an elite competitor. He amazed me night in and night out with just his love for the game and desire.
Pierce for a three. Touche, says Pierce.
Well, it's amazing watching Pierce play.
Paul was about 230, about 6'7", so he had the height, he had the build, he had the stamina, and he was competitive as hell.
Ball away at the buzzer. Got it!
The truth shall set you free.
Write this down. Paul Pierce is the mother truth.
Paul Pierce wins the game.
I was like, this guy's the truth because what he's doing is not a lie. And he was doing it against the world champs.
17, 23 points in the game, 40 points for Pierce. 42 in his homecoming here to Los Angeles.
Paul thrived in pressure.
In Eastern Conference playoffs, we're down 26-1 into the fourth quarter. I gave Paul a tongue lashing and told him how good he was and how he was letting them off the hook and not being aggressive. And the fourth quarter that he put on was unbelievable, the way he was able to bring us back. That was one of the best fourth quarters that I've ever seen an individual do.
Harrington was guarding him, and Paul Pierce had scored a couple of baskets on him, and they were telling Harrington to go guard somebody else. And Harrington threw the guy's hand away like, no, I got him. And Paul was talking to him like, you want this? You want this? And Harrington was like, show me.
Pierce buries it right in Harrington's face.
I don't think it ever got enough attention when Paul wanted to stay in Boston, took less money, renegotiated a contract to allow us to have a better team. I don't think Paul ever got his just due for the sacrifice that he made for our franchise.
Who's the MVP in the league this year? 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
Paul Pierce continuing to throw him down. He is in a zone all by himself.
My favorite on-court memory of Paul was Game 7 against Cleveland. It was a battle with LeBron and Paul. It'll go down in history as that, but there was a jump ball, and Paul dove and beat LeBron to the loose ball.
It is over at the Garden.
I've waited all my career to get back to this point, and I'm going to cherish it the most.
And I want to remind y'all just one thing. Everybody wants to win, but our strength is in our numbers.
Pierce for three. Bang! Back to Pierce. Another three. Puts it in.
It is the truth. The MVP of the 2008 NBA Finals is Paul Pierce.
No one has endured what Paul Pierce has. And the fact that he was standing on the stage with all of Boston cheering, I think it was the perfect ending.
Paul was a true Celtic. He was with us all the way. I would just like Paul to know how grateful I am for him and all that he did, all that he sacrificed, and all that he endured.
You look at what Bobby Orr did with 4, what Bird did with 33, but Paul's 34 was the working man's number, or, old, reliable.
I happen to be the last jersey that was retired. So now I have to be the first person that's going to say, welcome to the club.
Well, it's very important because you sacrifice so much of your time in this game. I go home every summer. You have people who lose to death. You have people who age. You miss birthdays. You miss so much because of this dedication that I put to this sport, all for me, myself, to be a winner. And it's like you miss out on so many things. And And I think that's the reason I cried so much, because of the sacrifices I was able to make and, give to the game of basketball. But people don't understand, you lose out on so many other aspects of life. Missing my kids' first time ever walking, first time saying their first word. You miss so much in just life in general. But that's what I put into the game. That's what I was able to sacrifice. And it's tough, man. It's tough. People don't know that you miss out on life, man. Just for one thing. It's incredible. Just for one thing. Just to be one of the best. Because you don't realize it until like right now. I look back on it. And it's like, man, you did all this for one thing because you cared so much. And that's just who I was. I cared so much and wanted to be a winner and wanted to raise a banner and wanted to be a champion. That it's. I don't know if it's all worth it in the end, but I surely feel like it is worth it.
Do you remember your first?
Every day, I walk into the practice facility, you see those numbers. Every day you see in the arena, you see these numbers. That was inspiration. Those numbers hanging up there, those banners. It was just like, one day, I want to be up there. I want to be with this franchise long enough, because when you look at the numbers and you see accomplishments that they made, you're like, that was an example for me to try to follow. That was the burning desire in me to I want to every day. It's like the pressure. It's like raining every day on you. You come up here and well, how do you live up to these guys? How do you live up to, McHale, Bird, Parrish, even Maxwell? Well, Maxwell was easy. No, but it's great just to have that hanging over your head, something to try to strive for, and there's some legendary names in there. And for me to be mentioned and sitting on the side of those guys is just a tremendous honor. And with the way the NBA is today, where guys don't really stick around for one franchise, I'm thinking like my number may be up there for a while before you see the next number. So but it's truly an honor.
Live with breaking news. This is a News Channel 5 special report.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Scott Arnold. We interrupt golf to tell you about a major breaking news story we are following. We have just learned through multiple police sources that former Tennessee Titan Steve McNair has passed away. That's right, at about 1:46 this afternoon. At first, the call came in as a double homicide. A man had been shot in the head. There's also a female victim as well. But again, former Tennessee Titan Steve McNair has died in an apparent shooting. We're still working out the details.
I think I was just I felt just abandoned. I felt angry. I don't think I even felt anger at first, though. Anger wasn't there. Anger came later, but I think it was just, I was hurt. I felt alone. I wanted answers. How? What? It was too much. And then all the particulars that went along, it was just so much. It was overbearing. It was overwhelming. That's what it was. It was overwhelming.
She started crying, and I knew that once she started crying, that it was kind of like the end. I just didn't know how to react. I'd had both my parents my whole life, and I'd never experienced death before, and so I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna live.
He would like a new contract, an extension. The Giants, are willing to talk about it, but they don't consider it an urgent matter. So the issue becomes, how urgent does Odell Beckham consider it? And when we get to the offseason workout and to training camp, does he feel like skipping? Does he feel like sitting out and holding out to get a new deal? If there's no deal done by then and he starts missing minicamp and training camp time in protest, then maybe the Giants start to take it a little more seriously. If there is a deal done by then, obviously we don't have to worry about it. But what we're watching with this Odell Beckham situation is whether he's actually a player who's willing to sit out in order to get the new contract, or if he's willing to play on the fifth-year option.
And keep this in mind, too. New head coach, new scheme. Pat Shurmur there as the head coach now.
We'll want him in camp as early as possible.
Exactly, to try and get on the same page on what they want to do.